Is there a more ironically named place in the country than Hope Town? Dry, dusty, impoverished, forgotten. Hopeless Town would be more appropriate. It's in the Northern Cape, the country's largest province, where many service delivery and infrastructure promises have been broken, a situation not limited to small town and rural communities. Even the capital, Kimberley, is showing signs of decay.
We're avoiding party politics in the build-up to this month's ballot and have instead travelled to some of the country's poorest provinces to evaluate past election promises. Tonight, Govan brings us the second instalment of a campaign we're calling Broken Promises.
It's the country's largest province, but not much ever happens here. Residents of small towns across the Northern Cape feel forgotten by government. Journeying through the province, we find the remnants of grand promises now broken. Searching for answers.
We heard the Premier lives here. Can you ask him if he can speak to us?
We find people disillusioned and despondent. It's like Venice, Northern Cape style.
In 2014 is die mense geskuif hiernatoe. En sedert 2014 sit hulle hier so onder hierdie waterdam.
We're here to see what remains of a community sports stadium, but we're blocked by rivers of water. Hope Town's municipality moved residents into this area that floods every time it rains.
2 jaar terug is die ondergrondse dienste gebring in 2022 waar dat reeds al geweet het van die dam, maar die dienste is nog steeds hier kom doen die ondergrondse dienste.
The 𝗀𝗶𝗴𝗶 municipality spent millions to install services in this watery mess. 𝗀𝗏𝗏 is a councillor.
Die einste mense in hierdie dams is krag beloof. Is al die dienste beloof.
But only a few households got electricity. The majority just empty poles after a contractor ran off with over 2 million rand. Just opposite this area is the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏 Municipal Sports Stadium.
Nee, meneer. Dis nie 'n rugbyveld nie.
Kan nie mag hier speel nie.
Kyk hier, bro.
Constructed in 2008, the same municipality got 11.5 million rand to upgrade it. It's hard to see how that money was spent.
Hierdie paviljoen was hier, hy's 'n bietjie opgeknap. Hier onder die kleedkamers bietjie uitgeverf en weer gepleister en allei.
Die slegste gedeelte is dat in hierdie geval het hulle nou 'n fence gesit daar. Dat die mense van die lokasie die stadium kan kyk terwyl hulle onder die water lewe sonder krag.
This fence is the only new addition, and these 2 JoJo tanks.
As jy alles bymekaar sit en kyk wat die gedoen is en bietjie met experts praat, was hier nie meer as 6 miljoen gespandeer nie.
Adding insult to injury, residents have to pay the municipality to use the facility, or what's left of it. Phillipstown, about 130 kilometers from Hope Town, can't even boast an unfinished stadium. Party agents canvassing for votes aren't exactly welcome here. In anticipation of a promised 240 houses 10 years ago, millions were spent on infrastructure, left to rot in the harsh Karoo sun. Infrastructure maintenance doesn't appear to be high on the agenda in the Northern Cape, not even in the provincial capital, Kimberley.
Ry deur Kimberley en kyk hoe lyk dit. Dis vuil.
Former teacher and current councillor 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 is a common sight on Kimberley streets. He's the community's eyes and ears.
Dis spesifiek die paaie het gate in. Ek is hier so in Kimberley weer van hier so vroeg 2000s af. Ons wil hê dat die plek weer skoon gemaak word. Dit moet weer wees the city that sparkles.
Kimberley's water infrastructure has collapsed. But that hasn't stemmed the flow of money to several ambitious but questionable projects, like this fire station on the edge of the city.
Die gebou is besig om in die binnekant te kraak en uitmekaar uit te val. Die groot deure aan die voorkant, verstaan ek, kan glad nie eers oopmaak, die glasdeure waar die voertuie moet ingaan.
Hoekom nie?
Die hele konstruksie het gesak.
More than 13 million rand apparently wasted.
Was die brandweerstasie ooit gebruik?
Nooit.
So
Hier's ons nie 'n brandweertrokke vir hom nie, niks nie. Hy's nooit oorhandig nie.
Wat beteken dit?
Dit beteken dat hy nie water en elektrisiteit is beskikbaar gestel.
'n Brandweerstasie sonder water.
But a water-free fire station pales in comparison to the madness of the project on our next stop.
Ja, en so wat is die?
Daar was besluit om so 'n bietjie eer te gee aan Nelson Mandela. En daar is 'n klompie geld uit die stelsel uit. Die bedrag wat ons sien op die boeke is so 6 miljoen wat uitgegee is.
Struggling to see it? We did too.
Maar ek sien niks nie.
Jy kan sy gesig daarom sy buitelyne sien, maar verder is daar nie regtig iets wat oorgebly het nie.
O, met die een hand wat so waai vir die mense.
Ja.
Ek het hulle foto gesien, ja.
Ja.
Is dit die voorkant of die agterkant?
Dis die voorkant hierdie.
Dis die voorkant.
Ja.
Our final stop was a stretch of road outside the city.
Ons is nou op die R31.
Kimberly has been drowning in its own sewage for nearly a decade.
Die riool het oor die pad begin gaan en die teerblad het begin opbreek.
Rivers of sewage flow into these pans on the outskirts. They've been dubbed the 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 pans, after the provincial premier 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 Saul.
Kimberley se riool gaan nêrens na aanleg toe nie. 𝗀𝗶𝗶𝗴𝗶 is nie funksionerend, hoewel daar 21 miljoen rand spandeer is aan hom die afgelope paar jaar.
The 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗀 municipality says it spent only 5 million rand on upgrades to the 𝗀𝗶𝗃 pump station. Yet provincial government still had to lift the road over the sewage spills at a cost of around 30 million rand.
Hierdie is 'n stukkie is omtrent 'n kilometer.
30 miljoen vir 'n kilometer.
The provincial department refused to comment on the amount spent. Sewage, though, isn't only a problem on the city's outskirts.
It's a pity the sign is not across the road anymore. They used to call it Stronstraat. Stronstraat.
When 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗀𝗀 bought his house in an upmarket Kimberley suburb, he didn't expect it would one day be a waterfront property.
You've got feces, tampons, toilet paper running underneath your house. How are you able to live with this?
I spend my whole pension money just about on the house. There's nowhere I can go. Nobody's going to buy my house. So what must I do?
He used his own money to install a pipeline to divert the sewage.
Well, the first time it blocked, I was sleeping and I got out of bed to go to the toilet. And I noticed that the whole floor is wet. Then I started to see sewage floating around the house inside.
Yes,
Little
what
goldfish
did it
all
smell
over.
like?
It was terrible.
Sometimes the levels rise so high that Cliff's sandals float from the bedroom to the garage. Ironically, the pump station is just a few meters from Cliff's house. But apparently, the municipality sometimes forgets to switch it on.
Display James.
After getting word of our presence, the official responsible for sorting out sewage blockages in Kimberley arrives.
Meneer, hello. Gaan het? You're from the municipality? In charge of the sewage works.
He tries to get municipal workers on site.
Han, waar is julle? Water loop hier nie. Hele mense die hele Carte Blanche en kie.
You say, Winston, gaan het come unblock?
I'll sue you guys if you put me on TV.
You what?
I'll sue you guys.
Say me sue.
Residents come out to talk to us. They say they've been complaining about the sewage leaks for years.
Vandag sien ek hom vir die eerste keer in 6 dalk ewen 7 jaar. Dis hoe lank ons al sukkel met hierdie riool. Ek het op 'n tyd self in die oggend as ek opstaan, dan loop ek maar in daarso, gaan staar die pompe self.
But the municipality denies there is a problem.
Come talk to us, Winston, please, man. This is years of neglect. No. Don't you think the public deserves an answer?
You know, this is a blockage that could have happened yesterday.
This blockage could have happened yesterday.
Yeah.
The municipality later tells us there's been no complaint about the station in over 2 years. And yet, this is happening in a suburb where those best placed to fix the problem live with it every day.
What kind of neighborhood is this?
Well, it's ANC City.
What's it called?
ANC City, all the big knobs.
And you won't guess who lives a few houses down the road.
How's it? We heard the Premier lives here.
𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀, the Northern Cape's Premier.
Can you ask him if he can speak to us? No, not as a Premier, as a resident of the streets. Yeah.
We push for a chat about the sewage-flooded street.
Premier, how's it? As you know, I'm with Carte Blanche now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know about 𝗀𝗁𝗶𝘀 there. He had the sewage running across the street.
Where is it?
Right here. Right. I mean, right here. They put the sign on the boom. It said 𝗀𝗁𝗶𝘀. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, proper context is very important. The bulk sewer infrastructure, was put up here in 1947 for 16,000 households.
Yeah.
From 1994, with that project RDP program of connecting previously disadvantaged.
The Premier went on to say the RDP program, launched in 1994, aimed to connect the previously disadvantaged to clean water and proper sanitation.
In 30 years, should you have upgraded that by now?
There's work that took place to upgrade it.
But how much longer do you need, Premier?
No. You can even need 500 years.
Premier, the residents say you drive that way. You don't drive across the sewer.
No, they are talking nonsense because
You've seen it.
because anybody can tell you. These guys can tell you. I round down here every day.
One thing I want to say, you know the people here complain about the smell.
Yeah.
Do you smell it?
Sometimes I do get it.
then?
I do get it.
You irritated when you smell
So
it?
balanced narrative. These are challenges that comes with development at a large scale.
Saul says the 𝗀𝗁𝗶𝘀 municipality received 2.5 billion rand to upgrade its bulk water system. We've established that none of this is earmarked to fix the sewage system. Our journey coming to an end, we pass the site of the most recent high-profile political rally in the area. No less than President 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 and the Premier were in attendance in January, when a planned 1 billion rand housing project was unveiled. Nellie Frans had a front row seat when it was announced on this field, right next to her house.
Hier was veel donker van mensen, hier om die donker van mensen. Toen de housing forum ze invullen daar. Toen kwam die... Wat is die mensen wat hier gekomen? Die dikke. Koksta, ja. Hij was zelf weer. Toen zei Koksta, hier ons lopen hier, want die is een belofte wat ons hier wacht.
Nellie has been living in this shanty for 55 years.
Ons het nooit een beter leven gehad en sê, ons het ook in een ordentelijke huis gebleven, soos kraaghuis en nooit, tot hierdie ouderdom.
She no longer believes change is coming.
En het allemaal beloven ook hier zo van die hospitaal en die school. So die goede gaan we zeker nog om bouwen van die goede glas alweer oorkant. Het was mooi schoon en was glad.
And Nellie says no one has been back since the January announcement.
There's a R1 billion housing project which you launched about 2-3 months ago, correct? Yeah. Are you going to keep your promise to give those people houses?
I don't know what kind of a question is that, because there is money that has been available.
When are you going to start building this, sir?
I'm certain by the end of this month a contractor will be putting up sites there.
Niemand heeft gekomen, niemand. Nadat heeft niemand weer ons toegekomen. Die aanzien, je gaat nog niet verloren naar dat beloftes.
We don't have house, they promise us. Too long they promise the people.
There will be no houses here anytime soon, according to what we say.
Next week, the promise of proper housing in KwaZulu-Natal. Decades on, very little has been delivered.
Now, the company who's doing the RDP houses, they took the money and fell out.
As the elections draw near, KZN, one of the most highly contested provinces and a strong contributor to the country's economy, should be well placed to deliver on its service delivery promises. But on the ground, communities are fed up.
People really now start to feel that we are going towards Zimbabwe state, where government is no more caring for its own citizens.
Our team heads into a province that could be a game changer in the upcoming elections.
Thanks for watching. Why not drop us a comment below? We love reading your opinions. Remember, you can now access Carte Blanche stories anytime, anywhere, even offline. Carte Blanche, the podcast, is now available on all major podcast platforms. So be sure to hit that follow or subscribe button and be part of our growing online family.